Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Wednesday morning to you all. I hope you guys are doing awesome out there this morning and having a wonderful start to your day and a great week out there so far. We got a lot of information to go over in this morning's video, and we're going to discuss all the model guidance from overnight into this morning regarding this blast of Arctic air on the way for this weekend into next week. And with it, you're going to have a winter storm chance across areas of the south, including the south central U.S., the southeast, the mid-Atlantic potentially, even all the way up to the northeast we need to continue to watch. So we're going to speak on all this. The first thing we'll go over and focus in on is the temperatures. We're not going to spend a ton of time on that. We know it's going to get cold, but I will spend a little bit of time on it right here in the beginning of this video, and then we'll get very, very detailed on all the model guidance from overnight into this morning regarding the winter storm chances. We'll compare model guidance. I'll give you my take on some things. We'll take a look at the ensembles as far as ice and snow, and just continue to speak on our confidence level on a winter storm for areas of the south next week. And then after we get done doing that, of course, I got you covered with your weather for today. We'll give you a Wednesday forecast, but I can tell you there's not a whole lot going on today weather-wise. So if you guys have not subscribed, certainly consider doing that. Like the video if you like it. And just a quick reminder, if you're a new viewer and you click on this, you're like, dude, holy smokes, this is 35, 50 minutes long. I ain't got time for this. Timestamps are up throughout the entire video. You're going to find the information you want. You just have to utilize those timestamps. I can't help myself. I like getting detailed. It's the only way I know how to do it. The more I try to rush through these videos, the sloppier it is. So I just like to get very detailed, and it's just a passion. I'm passionate about the weather. So if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, as always, please put it in the comments below so we can pray over it. A lot of people have an opportunity to pray over your prayer request. If it's unspoken, just put that, and we got you covered. God's got you covered, more importantly. And, it's a way to glorify God, and that's what we like to do on this channel. So let's get rocking and rolling this morning. So it's the latest from the Client Prediction Center, the 6 to 10 day outlook, and I always got to click on it because I always forget. This runs through the 20th through the 24th. So basically, January 20th through the 24th is the time frame that we like for a favorable pattern for a winter storm pretty far south for a lot of folks, a lot of area. But let's speak on the latest from the National Weather Service, the Client Prediction Center. So if you live in this really dark shade of purple, it's a 90% chance in this time frame of temperatures being below normal. This shade of purple, 80% chance. This shade of blue, 70, 60, 50, and it just continues to drop. So obviously the highest confidence for below average temperatures is in the central to eastern U.S. Okay, so you kind of freeze this image in your head, right? Very cold temperatures. What about the moisture? All right, so we click on precipitation. Leaning towards dry in this area in brown or the sand color, whatever you want to call it. I mean, a pretty decent confidence. 50% chance of precipitation being below normal, kind of right here in the Midwest areas, the Mississippi Valley, 40 here. Leaning dry with that 33%. And then this kind of middle ground, this grayed out area, that's 36% chance to be exact of precipitation being near normal. But you start to get into the green, and this is what I want you to focus in on really here. That's a 33% chance of precipitation being above normal in this 4-day time period. And this is the time period I really like for a winter storm pretty far south. And you even get into this darker shade of green, 40% chance. So they're leaning towards more precipitation. Now, I know some people are probably looking at this and are thinking, well, green means rain. That's not necessarily the case. And I also probably imagine people are looking at this area right here and thinking there's absolutely no chance of precipitation. That's not what that means either. This is just a percent chance one way or the other, right? So you match the colder than average temperatures with the above average precipitation chances. What do you get? A winter storm chance. This is not like, it's not like this is in March or April, okay, or even December or November. This is the heart of winter. This is January. So you get the mix matching of above average precipitation, even average precipitation, below average temperatures, well below average temperatures. You're going to run the risk of winter weather, even pretty far south. So it's the latest outlook from them folks. All right, so let's talk about temperatures a little bit. Okay, let's talk about the central U.S. first. And I'm not going to show the temperatures compared to average anymore. I'm just going to show you one operational run, and this is the Euro. And just remember, this isn't exactly what your temperatures are going to be, but, in general, you can look at it and say, okay, it's going to be pretty cold. So we're going to start this off Friday afternoon. Wondering about timestamps as far as where we're at. January 17th, says it up here, January 17th. So here in the next 48 hours, basically. We're going to have a nice warming period across Texas, Oklahoma. Temperatures, this is Friday, about high temperatures, getting into the 60s and 70s, that's nice. But watch how fast this changes, okay? We start to get into Saturday morning single-digit low temperatures up here. Okay, we start to get into high temperatures for Saturday. All of a sudden, you go, literally, guys, in areas of Oklahoma and Texas, we'll go from highs in the 60s and 70s to highs in the 30s, maybe colder for areas of Oklahoma, Texas, like the panhandle of Texas, panhandle of Oklahoma, areas of Oklahoma. You're going to have a dramatic change, dramatic. Okay, and then we continue, and look how the Arctic hammer just drops down. These are low temperatures, potential low temperatures Sunday morning. It's going for, folks, -10 to -20 below zero. All right, and then you continue, and these are high temperatures Sunday. Highs only in the 30s in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 20s in Oklahoma City, even colder. Highs only in the teens for Kansas City. And high temperatures are below zero, like in the Minneapolis area, points north. Single-digit highs in Milwaukee, Green Bay, etc. And then you push it even further. You start to get into Monday. Highs are only showing up in the 20s, below freezing, as far south as Austin, Texas. Shreveport, down to Memphis. Highs is only in the 20s next Monday, January the 20th. I know some people listen to this in their headphones or whatever, but I totally get it. Not everybody has time to just sit there and watch a screen for 30, 45 minutes straight. But what you're seeing here, if you're just tuning in, got the headphones in, is just well below average temperatures across the central U.S. And then we get into Tuesday. This is around afternoon temperatures, very, very cold. Good gracious, it's cold. Now, there's a winter storm on this specific run down here for the deep south going on. So, temperatures are a little bit skewed one way, right? They're colder. But, you got sub-freezing high temperatures all the way down to the Gulf coastline Tuesday. And then, hey, it might begin to moderate somewhat into Wednesday. But, it's still cold for just about everybody. So, one thing that I'm leaning towards, and let's switch it to the eastern U.S., is this is going to be a pretty quick shot of cold air. I don't know if this is going to have much longevity to it, but it's definitely going to make all next week frigid. So Saturday afternoon for the eastern U.S. Once again, there's that little slither of warmth. This is probably going to be a warm rain. So 60s and 70s spiking up into Mississippi, Alabama. Maybe even this can get enough juice in the atmosphere, enough thermodynamics to get a little bit of thunderstorms going on actually in the deep south. Warm day in Florida. Unfortunately, your warmish day in the Carolinas and Georgia might be just kind of messed up by maybe a little bit of cold air damming. We'll see what happens. But as we're starting to get into Sunday, you can see the cold air crashing down from the north and northwest, right? We start to get into Sunday, and then the cold front will literally move through the southeast. I think it's already moved through the northeast. It'll move through the southeast in the middle of the day Sunday, most likely. You might actually feel the temperatures drop from when you wake up Sunday morning to when you kind of go to sleep Sunday night. You're going to feel something shift. And that is the big cold front. And then by the time we're waking up Monday morning, the hounds of winter are at your front door for everybody, even all the way down to Florida. It's getting cold. And you might get into single-digit low temperatures into Kentucky, well into the teens, all the way down to the deep south. And then these are high temperatures, potential high temperatures next Monday, only in the 30s across the southeast, well below freezing, maybe single-digit highs in Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, surrounding states. And then we get into Tuesday morning cold temperatures, and this is just one run. It has sub-freezing high temperatures across the entire deep south next Tuesday. And if you look on your Weather Channel app, and I preach against not looking at it, especially when it comes to winter weather, you can see the cold coming. Look at it. It's for the south, it's probably going to show highs in the 30s. So very cold temperatures. And, am I calling this historic cold? Absolutely not. We don't know how cold this truly will be, but it's going to be cold next week. All right, so let's move away from that. We're going to spend less and less time on temperatures, by the way. Kind of move away from that because we know it's going to get cold. What about winter weather chances? I want to start this off. We're waking up to a new winter weather outlook. This is day 6. So this is for next Monday. Well, I guess you can say this coming Monday now into Tuesday. So this is pretty much that 24-hour period. Monday morning, Tuesday morning, January 20th until the 21st. They're already honking the horn at winter weather. So what this is in this green area, this is a 10 to 30% chance. The exact terminology of it, probability of exceeding a 1/4 inch liquid equivalent of snow and sleet. So what I like to view this as there's a 10 to 30% chance of accumulating winter weather. And it's already showing up for Texas, areas of Louisiana, and then southwest Mississippi. Okay? Now let's look at Wednesday. Okay, confidence does nothing but increase in this area. We're up to a 30 to a 50% chance. They're honking the horn loud 6 to 7 days out. And this is between Tuesday, the 21st, through Wednesday, the 22nd. That dark green area, it's a 30 to 40% chance, same thing, of probability of exceeding a quarter-inch liquid equivalent of snow and sleet. And whatever a quarter inch would be in this case, I don't know. Maybe that's 2 to 4 inches of snow. Maybe that's freezing rain, sleet, not sure. But then look in this area. I mean, good gracious, guys. I mean, I'll stop zooming. Sorry. I'm just not trying to make your eyes go cross here. Let's just keep it like this, right? I mean, Atlanta down to Macon, Columbia, Augusta, down into southeast North Carolina. At day 7, Tuesday morning into Wednesday morning of next week, they're already saying, hey, there is a 30 to 50% chance of a quarter-inch liquid equivalent of snow and sleet. There's a 30 to 40% chance of accumulating winter weather already. This is from the Weather Prediction Center, guys, the actual National Weather Service. Okay, so experts. I mean, this is pretty wild. Waking up to this, and then around it, hey, that's that 10 to 30% chance. It could easily increase up in this region. So if you're, up here in Knoxville saying, oh man, it's not going to happen, man, don't think like that, because it could. The pattern's favorable for everybody. So, all right, now that we've looked at that, let's move forward. So the first thing we'll discuss is the Southern Plains. So if you're tuning in from Georgia, the Carolinas, etc., and you're like, dude, show the Southeast, what's up with that? I'm going to talk about the Southern Plains, the South Central U.S. first. There's going to be a timestamp up for the Southeast. So we're going to focus primarily on you guys first, because you're going to get impacted by this first if anybody gets impacted at all. We'll start all these panels out for Monday afternoon, January the 20th. Timestamp up here, and I'll try to mention it out loud as we go. So I think we're going to get accumulating snow dropping down with the actual trough, the Arctic front, into the Rockies of Wyoming, Colorado, and this is the latest Euro from overnight. Okay, so we move this forward. You can already start to see winter weather breaking out across south central Texas Monday evening. And there's no point in spending minutes and like 10 minutes on each run here. In general, I want you to look at the blue, the orange, and the pink as winter weather. Don't even focus. The blue is obviously snow, the orange is sleet, pink is freezing rain. But don't tunnel vision on what's over your house with each model output. I just want you to look at this and in your head think, okay, it's not a forecast, but hey, this time frame is showing up for a potential for winter weather. And here it is. I mean, only 156 hours out. We got a winter storm of just a mix of a wintry mix breaking out across southeast Texas. It's moving deep. I mean, it's hugging the Gulf coastline. I mean, look at Louisiana getting the winter weather, southern areas of Mississippi getting the snow, and then it cranks up, and it's really just a deep southerly winter storm setup because, I mean, the energy is really suppressed, and then it continues and it heads on off. And this would be a late Monday night and Tuesday morning into Tuesday night into, Wednesday morning. And so it looks like this particular run, it impacts areas south of Shreveport, Dallas, Fort Worth. I mean, south of Jackson. It is just a winter storm special for areas like along the I-20 corridor, really points south. I mean, almost I-10, you know what I'm saying? So it's a pretty wild output. Now, we can actually look at the latest Euro, which I think it's just got, it's only 87 hours out, so we don't know. But there's the snow coming down here. And listen, this is going to be a lot of shallow cold air. So we're probably going to get snow showers. I mean, all the way down to Oklahoma, maybe North Texas, like into this weekend. That's not showing up well on global models. Now, what about the GFS? Same thing. Monday afternoon, there's the snow showers coming down, light to moderate snow. It's going to be cold, so this is going to accumulate. We're probably going to get accumulating snow in like Denver, surrounding communities, even into western Kansas, panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. This is the GFS from overnight, and I'm going to compare it against the current GFS. So here it comes, same thing. There's the winter weather breaking out across Texas. We're starting to get into, Tuesday morning, we got an all-out winter storm breaking out across most of Texas. The sleet's in the orange. Pink is freezing rain, blue is the snow. But just look at this as a lot of winter weather. Then all of a sudden we get a snowstorm cranking up across, North Texas, Central Texas, winter storm, big winter storm starts to move into Louisiana, southern sections of Arkansas as we're getting to Tuesday night. And then overnight, Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, we got winter weather spreading east, and it's continuing for Texas, Oklahoma. I mean, all the way down to the Gulf coastline, guys. I mean, look at all the pretty colors. So this continues. I mean, once again, the GFS is a run just like the Euro that shows winter weather all the way down to the Gulf coastline. I mean, Houston, Corpus Christi. I can mention all these town names, but not trying to make fun of anybody, but it's important to know where you are on the map. I'm not going to go off into the spiel, but, people get very upset when I don't mention their state. It's one of the wildest comments that I ever have read since doing YouTube. But anyways, you continue to move this east. You get into Wednesday morning, Wednesday midday. I mean, you're still getting winter weather across deep south of I-20, deep south. And then this continues, okay? Now, what about the latest GFS? Here it comes. Winter weather breaking out Tuesday morning, the 21st, across, central Texas. And it bogs it down big time. So it really just suppresses all that energy and bogs it down way down deep in Texas. It never fully ejects the energy, but we still got snow, falling Wednesday morning in Houston on this particular output. But you see there's a difference here. The energy doesn't eject into the eastern U.S. And in fact, we just get winter weather just hanging out around from Houston to Corpus Christi, just inland. And eventually it gets going, but it gets going late. Like, this is when the cold is starting to depart. Okay, so all of a sudden we get snow breaking out across like Dallas, but the cold air is kind of beginning to leave somewhat. So the corridor of winter weather is a little bit further north, but it's a really wacky scenario that is not supported by any other models. And then it turns around and becomes a winter weather event into Thursday, into Friday for areas of the deep south and the mid south. It's definitely, I would say, a win mode for some people and a fail mode for others. For example, if you're like in Western Tennessee, Arkansas, and you're seeing all these runs that are further south, you would like what the morning GFS run showed. And I'll show it to you a little bit further east here in a second. Now, I want to show you the Canadian model. Remember, a couple videos back, if you've been following me for a while here, the Canadian model is really stuck on this energy getting hung back west. Watch what it did overnight. Here it comes, dropping the energy down. This is Monday night into Tuesday, already showing widespread winter weather across the southern plains. And then, boom, pops off a major winter storm that's breaking out across Texas, southern Oklahoma. Remember, don't focus too much on the colors, but the blue's the snow. I can repeat it over and over again here. Pink is the freezing rain. The orange is the sleet. But, just focus on all the winter weather, which is the pink, orange, and blue. That is a massive winter storm from South Texas all the way to North Texas. And it is really starting to fold to like the Euro and other models here and just shows a massive winter storm as we're getting into Tuesday across Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas. It's a hit for just about everybody. And it is a juiced up major winter storm. We're getting into Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and it's finally heading on out. Like on this particular run, it is sleeting in the northwest Gulf of Mexico. So pretty wild run, right? Now let's show you the icon. A couple models that, don't get a lot of love, but it's always cool to compare all model guides, right? The icon, hey, this is early Tuesday morning, the 21st, dumping snow on Texas. Dumping snow on deep down in Louisiana, southeast Texas. Okay, and then we take it into Tuesday afternoon. We got an old classic, deep southern snowstorm riding down here. The actual low pressure is way out in the Gulf of Mexico. And it's snowing all the way into Bayou, Biloxi, Gulfport. It's snowing in Mobile, and you keep this going, and it does the same thing for the southeast as we get into Tuesday into Wednesday. Remember, Monday night into Wednesday is really the time frame I like for just about everybody. And then we'll go to old reliable. And this, I don't show this model a lot, but it's called the UK Met. And typically the UK Met and the Euro kind of hang out with one another. And, people have their opinions about this model, but it does well sometimes, and then it can miss horribly. But I'm showing it to you because, hey, this is normally a conservative model, and then look at it. So this is like late Monday night this is like the middle of the night, Monday night to Tuesday morning. So, it's got a winter storm breaking out across Texas, northern half of Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and then it carries on into Mississippi, Alabama, just rounds of winter weather. We get into Tuesday, and then it heads on to the east. So, guys, I mean, you're getting crazy model convergence 6 to 7 days out. All right, so the latest Euro excuse me, losing my voice. The latest Euro ensemble is between now and the next 10 days. Pretty solid signal for accumulating snow in Colorado, Wyoming. I mean, like I said, I've mentioned this many times. I think Denver, areas of eastern Colorado, all of Colorado into areas of New Mexico is going to get accumulating snow out of this. The panhandle of Oklahoma, western Kansas, areas of Nebraska, panhandle of Texas. Even though you guys might not get a big storm, the energy coming down with the trough, northern stream, is going to squeeze out a lot of moisture, and it's going to be so cold, high snowfall ratios. But I want you to really look at this area right down here. This is the signal for the winter storm for the deep south, right in here. Of course, it continues to go this way too. And I mean, this is crazy. It's the Euro ensemble. All right, you got 1 inch to 2 inch snowfall means across eastern Texas, northern Louisiana. I mean, you got over 1 inch in Little Rock, 1 inch to 2 inch snowfall average here in Jackson. It carries on to Alabama, which we'll talk about more in the southeast timestamp. But that is a solid signal right here. And what's crazy is I mean, that's just including snow, right? What about freezing rain? This is the Euro ensemble. Remember, this puts together multiple runs. In this case, 51 members, combines it all together, creates an average or a mean. Not a forecast. It's not a forecast. It's just an ensemble average. So, I mean, that is a ugly signal for freezing rain. This is ice, freezing rain, not sleet, freezing rain. And I mean, it has over a tenth to 2/10 of an inch signal for freezing rain for areas of southeast Texas, Louisiana, and the southern half of Mississippi. Not as much when you get up to like Little Rock, Memphis, the Dallas area, and definitely nothing points north. But down here, hey, and listen, the setup supports it. Arctic air coming down, it's shallow, and a lot of times you have a lot of warm air aloft because that cold air is very shallow. It's intense, but it's shallow, meaning it hangs out at the surface. Meaning it can be like 15 degrees at the surface, but up above your head, several thousand feet up in the air, it might be like in the upper 30s to low 40s. So what about the latest GFS ensemble? And this is still running, but I think we have the entirety of the run. No, that's in centimeters. That ain't right. But this goes all the way out. So let's just take it to Friday afternoon. And I mean, hey, it's still a solid signal. You have this. I mean, Houston almost has a 1 inch snowfall average. You know, Shreveport's close to 2 inches. Same thing for the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And it's pretty spread out. I mean, you have about 1 inch snowfall average all the way up to the Missouri, Arkansas line. I mean, all the way down to almost the Gulf Coast line. So it's pretty spread out. You can tell it has some northerly members that have some southerly members. But I don't have an ice average on the GFS ensemble. But you look at that and say, okay, that's a pretty solid signal for something in the south. All right, pretty spread out. That's a pretty solid signal. Now, let's look at the Euro here. So this is the European from overnight. And if you're tuning in and you're from the southeast or eastern U.S., the timestamps are up here. So this is starting off around this coming Saturday morning, January the 18th, I believe. Yeah. So big washout ongoing across the southeast here. Mainly rain. There's not a lot of cold air involved yet. The cold air is still dragging behind. You can see the 540 line right in here. We could have a wintry mix, and we most likely will across the higher elevations of the app. So and there's a reason I'm leading up to the time frame of interest here, because there is a couple things to watch before the main time frame across the deep south. So as we're continuing to move forward here, what we'll watch is a low pressure that tries to develop over the southeast. This is boundary sag south, and we're getting some winter weather. This is Sunday morning, January the 19th. We're getting some winter weather breaking out, say, across areas. And in fact, we got a new run, so we might as well show it. No, we do not. We do not have a new run. I thought we did. But the latest Euro has winter weather breaking out across the central and southern apps. I mean, eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, eastern Tennessee. And then it turns into a quick hitting snowstorm for areas of northern Virginia, West Virginia, the Delmarva, Mid-Atlantic. This is not a forecast. It's just one solution. And then it rides up the I-95 corridor, brings a swath of accumulating snow up in New York City, Boston, southern New England. And it would be an interesting scenario for sure. We have to watch to see if this could happen. But this could be, like, I would say, an appetizer to maybe what's to come. Maybe. But you continue to move south, and this is the latest Euro as far as the deep south. So what happens next? Our time frame of interest comes up. We're getting into Monday evening of next week, right? And here it comes. The winter weather beginning to break out. We've already talked about the southern plains, the south central U.S., and then boom, here comes winter weather. And I'm going to go on and just kind of zoom into the southeast here. It's probably going to revert. No, it didn't. I thought it was going to revert to the 06Z. But look at this winter weather. I mean, and please don't focus too much on the colors. Well, I will say this. Look at the colors, but just look at it all as winter weather. So the blues, the oranges, the pinks, view it as winter weather. Don't focus too much on the blue being snow, which it is, sleet being orange, which it is, and then the pink being freezing rain. But you got snow from, areas of, you got winter weather from areas of Louisiana all the way into South Carolina. And this continues as more of a suppressed look. So this is getting into next Tuesday night and a Wednesday morning, just under 7 days from now. We got that freezing rain falling, and then it's done. It's a really southerly solution, okay? It's just one run, not a forecast. We look at ensembles, but we're looking at this because of the time frame. Now we look at the latest. Well, this is actually the GFS from overnight, and then we'll compare it against the latest GFS. So what does it show? So we continue to move forward here, and we get into Tuesday night. We got snow breaking out across Mississippi, Alabama, and then it's getting all the way into Georgia. Look at the winter weather moving into South Carolina. And let's back it up here because I missed the time frame for my folks in the Mid-Atlantic. I will say that the GFS is, it's somewhat of an event for you guys. It does bring kind of a mix of rain and snow across the Mid-Atlantic. It's not as aggressive as, say, the European model, though. But this would drop a few inches of snow in Virginia. But moving past this, getting back to where we were at, look at this winter weather breaking out across just the deep south. I mean, this is Wednesday morning. It's not a very amped up system, I would say. It's a long duration system, but it's not amped up as in it's not very far north. So we got a winter storm breaking out across the Carolinas, Georgia, back into Alabama. It's getting to Wednesday afternoon, and it lasts a pretty long time. We get all the way into Thursday morning. It's still going, and then finally it ends. So it is definitely a long duration winter storm, which I think the pattern supports a pretty long storm. Now we get to the latest GFS. Okay, does it change anything with that Mid-Atlantic system? Well, as we're moving forward here, big washout, southeast, we know that now. We know that's happening. And then we're getting some interior northeast snow, and then we have to watch for that low that tries to develop. This is Sunday afternoon. The latest run wants to bring snow showers all the way down into the Piedmont, North Carolina. There's a little bit of snow into Virginia. And this could, I really think there's something to this system Sunday into Monday for areas of the upper southeast and the Mid-Atlantic, and then also up the I-95 corridor, southern New England. But not much on the latest GFS, and then we move to the time frame of interest. So we're getting into Tuesday, we're getting into Wednesday. Where's the storm? Well, it's not there. The latest GFS keeps it suppressed. It does eventually eject the energy, but the cold air has kind of left the building, if you will. And instead, we get some leftover kind of cold, and we just get a big nasty freezing rain event. But this is later. As you can tell, this is into Thursday. So the core of the coldest air isn't there as much anymore. And this just turns into a very amped up system. And my friends in the southeast would hate this, but my friends in the western deep south, the mid-south, would love it because this would be another winter storm, another snowstorm for Nashville, northern Alabama. Now, none of this is a forecast, guys. We're just kind of going over time frames, right? And I can tell you the GFS ensemble, which is what I'm about to show you, doesn't really support its operational run. But this would be a huge amped up system. And outlier for now. But I still think, hey, everything's on the board. Now, if you tune into the Southern Plains or the South Central timestamp, I mentioned the Canadian has been further west for a while. But look what the latest Canadian does. First off, there's that time frame of interest for Sunday into Monday. This actually gets a decent snowstorm going across the Alps. It keeps it mainly rain in Virginia, but it keeps it honestly mainly rain for New York City and Boston too. So snow weather fans will be booing this, but the Canadians really amped up with this late weekend into Monday system. There's all that northwest flow into Ohio, Kentucky, and then here comes the time frame of interest. The Canadian is just going bonkers now. So we're getting into Tuesday morning. We're getting into Tuesday evening. It just has a major winter storm for everybody, for basically everybody. The deep south, the mid-south, the southeast. I mean, no reason of getting very specific. You can see what's going on here on your on your screen. If you're not, and you're just listening to it, I would definitely take some time to actually look at the phone or the screen or whatever, because this was just a legendary run, certainly by the Canadian model. Just heavy snow in the blue, extremely heavy sleet in the orange, the freezing rain in the pink, and it is just a massive winter storm for the entire South. It gets all the way into the mid-Atlantic. It even crawls up the eastern coast and gets all the way, I mean, heck, it even gets all the way into the Northeast and turns into almost a blizzard. So that is probably your upper boom scenario, I would say. And same thing we did with the South Central U.S. We'll look at the icon from overnight, which only goes 1 week out, 180 hours out. And just looking at other model guidance, it shows the solution. And some of this pink right here, I'm sorry, some of this some of this green is frozen precipitation. The icon on Tropical Tidbits only shows green and blue, though. But this is just a southernly snowy solution. It gets snow all the way up to Columbia. And this is, once again, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, which I keep mentioning. That is the time frame. And it dumps heavy snow. It's still snowing at the end of this Wednesday morning across Georgia and the Carolinas. And this is probably a wintry mix. Like if you look at the temperatures, and you're seeing green where it's in the 20s. This is actually like sleet and freezing rain. So, and once again, we'll round this off by looking at the UK Met, which is a model that typically follows the Euro. They kind of hang out with one another, right? And it is a very south solution. I mean, there's a snowstorm in the Panhandle Tuesday night, and this is making it all the way into Georgia and to South Carolina late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And it's just a southerly solution. It only goes a week out, and it looks exactly like the icon. So, we round this off by looking at the signal for snow, right? And we'll start this Monday. There is some support off the Euro ensemble for some snow in the mid-Atlantic for that system, but let's just focus in on the south, okay? Boom. There's the ensemble support for the winter storm across the deep south. I mean, extreme support from this. I mean, and it even closes the gap a little bit up the I-95 corridor. You have a signal for snow up here. And, I mean, look at the Carolinas, and then you look at, let's just zoom into the southeast here. I mean, look at that signal. This is 10 days out. I mean, over a 2-inch snowfall average in Augusta, Columbia, 2.5 in Charlotte. I mean, over 3 inches in Raleigh. And, I mean, even though it's not as loud, I mean, that's still very loud in Alabama and Mississippi, guys. I mean, and even Tennessee and Georgia. I mean, that's over an inch and a half snowfall average. I mean, look at the snowfall average. There's even you can see there's one member that even drops a snowstorm into Florida. But man, this is a loud signal, guys. Very, very loud signal. And then you look at the signal for ice. And I mean, look at this. I don't like that, especially for the low country of South Carolina, Georgia. You have over a 1/2 inch ice average. This isn't just some weird fluky operational run, folks. This is a smoothed out average run. And I mean, your average ice is over a 1/4 inch in Columbia. And I mean, it's even up into North Carolina too, but it really stops what you get in Virginia. That's why I'd have you guys cut off. But the ice shows up all the way into North Carolina. And then the latest GFS ensemble, which this is going to be new to me. I haven't looked at it yet. There's the signal Sunday night into Monday for, Virginia areas in northern North Carolina, the Delmarva. Okay, couple inch snowfall average. Like I said, I think that'll be an event. And then we have to see what it is. Say for the southeast, here it is. We're getting into Wednesday morning, and then we're taking it all the way into Thursday. What's interesting to me is, in the main time frame of interest, Tuesday into Wednesday, in my opinion, hey, there's a signal for snow. It's pretty far south. You got over a 1/2 inch to 1.5 inch snowfall average down here. But watch how it increases even after this. So you can tell there are some members that are waiting a day or two and really injecting the energy across the Mid-South. That's why the snowfall average actually increases once you get into Thursday into Friday across like northern Alabama and Tennessee. But that's a pretty impressive snowfall average between now and next Friday evening across the entire Southeast. And I keep talking about Tuesday and Wednesday till the cows come home, but listen, it could happen into Thursday. I don't think it's going to happen much earlier than Tuesday for the Southeast, but it could happen into Thursday or to Friday. I think the golden period to get a winter storm, though, for the Southeast is probably Tuesday into Wednesday night, maybe Thursday morning. That's when you're going to probably have the best cold source, and you just need the moisture. Okay. So that's all the information for that. As far as today's weather, there's not a lot going on, guys. We got a little bit of energy shooting down from the north central U.S. We got lake effect snows ongoing. The southeast getting a little bit of moisture return, but it's pretty quiet. Watches, warnings, and advisories. Some winter weather advisories. Some lake effect snow warnings south of Buffalo. I need to check my time here. 7:04. We're good to go. But it's a pretty quiet day of weather. I mean, no real risk of thunderstorms today, and then no real risk of excessive rainfall today. So pretty quiet. We'll zoom through this pretty quick. Southeast, some rain showers are possible along the coastline of Louisiana. This rain will make it all the way into southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, and eventually into the panhandle of Florida. And by the time waking up tomorrow morning, we could definitely have some showers across north central Florida. Everybody else, quiet. The northeast, just continued lake effect snow stuff. It's taking a break a little bit this morning for some people, but it could get going later on this evening, especially off Lake Ontario. And then we're going to get some clipper action with some snow that moves through Ohio later tonight into tomorrow morning. And then this is going to make it all the way into West Virginia, PA. We're just going to have a lot of bursts of snow probably late tonight into tomorrow morning, all the way through tomorrow afternoon across all these areas you see here. PA, West Virginia, Ohio, Maryland. Tomorrow will be a big day for just blustery conditions and then snow showers flying around. The south central U.S., rain hanging out along the Gulf coastline in Texas, Louisiana. Everybody else, though, quiet. North central U.S., here comes that energy flying through. We're going to get some snow squalls today, probably from Minneapolis, all the way into Wisconsin. The entire state could experience it. The UP of Michigan. These will fly over Lake Michigan, probably get a little bit enhanced. Some snow showers possible in Chicago. And then this will move over lower Michigan, northern Indiana, and then Ohio later tonight. But this is definitely going to drop a little bit of snow. Then the western U.S., and it is quiet. Quiet weather out here. There's nothing going on. We really need some rain in Southern Cal with the situation ongoing. High temperatures today, brutally cold across the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, the upper Midwest, Great Lakes region, and the Northeast. Well below freezing highs. Not as bad for the South. And then temperatures in the western U.S., this is what it looks like. So pretty cold too, except if you live in the Southwest. Like L.A., it's pretty nice, besides obviously the terrible situation with the wildfire. But temperatures are not too bad out there. We just need rain. So God bless all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. I'll have a video tonight. It'll be later. I have church. So we'll definitely have to drop the video a lot later tonight. But I should have one. God bless.